Right, back again. Richard Heller with Mandy Dahesh. We're back again for round 4 of How to Rout Gout. This is a very specialist round, Mandy, isn't it? Because we're going to talk about some conditions that benefit especially from cleansing the blood.
Yes. That's right.
Before we even mention these conditions, what's the benefit of actually cleansing the blood? Does that help get rid of uric acid quicker?
Well, yes, because uric acid goes around the body with that. Yes, it is a good idea.
So that's a good idea. And
yes, but people on certain medication, they have to be very careful on cleansing the blood.
Well, we'll be careful about that.
Yes, because blood takes a lot of things around the body. So,
but the general, the general principle is that you're.
This is about pseudo-gout.
Well, yeah, it is, which I'll come to that. It's a pseudo-gout's a sore subject for me. That's a form, that's a condition. Well, I can describe it because I've got it. I'm now an expert.
Yes.
That's a condition where extra calcium builds up around the.
Pseudo-gout is to do with also the blood.
Right.
Being, you need to clean the blood as well. Now, if there is certain elements of calcium,
right.
For example, some people they take supplements of vitamin K or fish oil, like we mentioned, all these together with the uric acid, they produce calcification, or sometimes the way they do their exercise, they twist their toes in the gym or they twist their knees, they get pseudo-gout. So basically they have to clean their blood. That's very important.
I want to just do that particular bit again because I want to just explain. I got a bit cut off before we said what it actually is. I think it's quite important to say what it is. So one of these conditions, Mandy, I've become quite an expert on, ones that need cleansing the blood, and that's pseudo-gout, as it's called.
Yes.
Or give it its posh name, it's chondrocalcinosis.
Yes.
And that's a process. That's a process of calcification, isn't it? It's a build-up of calcium.
Yes, because the blood needs cleansing. Pseudo-gout comes from the same family as psoriasis. When people have psoriasis, which we talk about it later, that is acidity of the body goes up too much and they produce psoriasis in their body. Right. So this is because it's gout and uric acid, it would go into the major joints, arthritic joints, as we explained before. Right. In your case, I think you mentioned your knees.
My knees have got.
Yes. Well, for some people, it can be the toes, and sometimes that arthritic condition deviates the toe so much, the big toe, towards the other toes, that the bone just below the big toe will come out, and it's famous as bunion.
Right. Okay. And
again. It's part of uric acid, so they have to treat it like we mentioned. The uric acid has got to be excreted, excess of it, from the body. Yeah. It would help a lot. On top of it, they have to really cleanse their blood as well, because it's part of the pseudo-gout. Right. That and plantar fasciitis is another condition.
What's that?
Plantar fasciitis is the muscle between, it's again to do with excess uric acid and pseudo-gout, which is, again, they have to clean their blood as well. It's the muscle between, on the feet, from the heel, the muscle becomes inflamed, and also it would go in close to the big toe, and in between, just below the toes and the heel, also the muscle would pull towards the knuckle. So a lot of people who do running, they get this. They do jogging, running, they get this. People on certain medication, they get this. And so they have to be very careful. It takes a long time for plantar fasciitis to go away, so they have to be patient. I suggest they also continue with the raspberry leaf tea, with the nettle tea and the mint tea, and also a little bit of the parsley again.
Okay.
Continue with that, because that does not interfere with the medications. But there is a new medication for this, a herb, a new herb, which not everybody can take it. It's called burdock.
Well, a lot of people have heard of burdock because of certainly I did. When I was a kid, dandelion and burdock was a very popular soft drink. Yeah. I think there's still places.
Dandelion is very good for the liver and gallbladder, and burdock is very cleansing. So it was good times. I don't know if you can still get it everywhere, but certainly you can get the burdock.
You get burdock,
and but I think people who are on certain medications, such as blood pressure tablets, they can't take burdock. No. They should not take burdock, because this we are talking about cleansing the blood. Blood pressure tablets and the medications that they are given goes into the blood to go into the certain organs of the body. So I suggest burdock as a herb, which is very good herb for people who are not taking these medications. They can take it. But I can also recommend with these people who are on medication to take a little bit of pomegranate juice.
Really?
The fresh pomegranate juice. There is one called POM, P-O-M. I recommend it to a lot of my clients. You can buy it in the fridge section of supermarkets, certain supermarkets. But people should try very little of it. That produces new blood inside the body.
Literally?
Yes,
blood.
It's very good.
Alright.
It's very good. I had a client who had gout in her shoulder and also in her knee, and also she was feeling a little bit dizzy as well, and she was drinking a little bit of this pomegranate. It actually relieved her from all these conditions. So I think that is good. That goes with people because they take very little drink of it. It's okay if they are taking doctor's medication. But burdock, they have to be very careful.
Burdock, that's recapping. Burdock, very good for cleansing the blood, but not for people on blood pressure medication.
Exactly, yes.
What about blood thinners? Does it make any difference for you?
I think they have to be very careful. Again, with the blood thinners, I would say take, because I think burdock comes as a drop.
Right, yes.
And what happens is that I think company Nature's Answer, they make very good burdock drops. They recommend putting a lot of, like 20 drops. I think people who are on blood thinners, they should just try 2 or 3 drops of it.
Right.
2 or 3 drops of that. But mainly the pomegranate one is very, very good. They should try that, because it regenerates the new blood, and it helps. The liver likes it very much, and the kidneys like it very much. So I suggest that very much. So maybe for you, it's a good idea to try it.
Because I've got I'll add that to the mix. There's plenty more. There's plenty of other things in the cupboard already, but I've had the fridge.
And you have a very nice cat. Your cat is young, but by the way, I used to have a dog.
Yes.
And my dog passed away, but when he was having arthritic problems with his joints, I was giving him a little bit of burdock. I was giving him raspberry leaf tea. So all the things that I suggested for human beings also applies to pets as well. And my vet was very interested because he was also a homeopathic vet as well. So I think your cat is still young to have this, but I think at some stage your cat had raspberry leaf tea and it helped your cat as well to relax her stomach.
My cat had some stomach problems a while back. He had some stomach problems, I slipped a little raspberry leaf tea into the water. He didn't notice. Seemed to calm him down.
Yeah, it's anti-inflammatory.
Good, that's good.
Yes. But this was the burdock one, which I started giving to even my dog later age. So that is called later for older pets as well as as well as humans. We are talking.
Okay.
about.
So we're all this. I just want to recap a little bit. We're talking here specifically about three things, which all benefit from cleansing the blood. All
Yes.
right. Just to recap on them: there's pseudo-gout or chondrocalcinosis, which is a build-up of calcium, a build-up of calcification, as well as the.
It's from the same family as.
Right.
It's from the same family as. I mentioned it earlier. Yeah, you need to clean your.
Right. That's from them, and we also with that we also
Psoriasis.
Psoriasis.
That's why it's called pseudo gout. Psoriasis, which I just mentioned to you. It's the too much acidity causes psoriasis. We call it. We
psoriasis
touch the subject later.
Psoriasis is a skin condition, isn't it? That's right.
It's the acidity in the body that comes out as skin hives in a way. But again, Veldoc would help that. So pseudo gout is to do with the
it's connected with psoriasis.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Which I just mentioned earlier on.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's why I mentioned them to take Veldoc.
Yeah, and we want with that you also talked about bunions, and you also talkked about plantar fasciitis.
Plantar fasciitis. Yes.
All things that need
they all need to have the
blood
raspberry leaf tea.
Cleanse.
They all need to drink 2 liters of water, whatever we mentioned before.
Yep.
Raspberry leaf tea, and they also the nettle. But also, I mentioned in this case, they should have drops of nettle as well.
That's right.
And in the case of the athletes, they should have, especially plantar fasciitis, they should have drops of the nettle because the tea is not as strong enough.
So you're giving extra power from that nettle.
Yes.
We've talked about burdock and who should take care with burdock. Yes. We haven't mentioned your herbal teas. They're still a remedy for.
They are very good.
They're still helpful
for the uric acid ones. Yes.
Yeah, for these three conditions, and we haven't mentioned the yogurt drink in this context.
They can have the yogurt drink because all these heat, all these conditions of gout, arthritic conditions, and specifically we are talking about gout in this session and previous sessions. It's reducing the heat, the warm, the energy, balancing the energy of the warm, yang and yin, warm and cold. So the yogurt would cool the body with that, from that excess. And the pseudo gout is too much heat around the joints.
Okay.
You see. So the yogurt drink helps.
So that'll help. And we're still going with vitamin B complex. We're still going with vitamin C, and we're still going with L-lysine.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's
and the olive oil.
And the olive oil and the linseed oil. Right. It's all going into the cupboard. 2 new things.
Yes.
And that, I think, Mandy, will complete which round are we on now? We're on round 4.
Yes.
We're on round 4. We're on round 4 of how to rout gout.
Yes.
In the next one, it's quite a big wrap-up session we've got coming up next, because you're adding, on top of all the remedies we've discussed, you're adding a special detoxing regime.
Yes.
Which we'll come to. We're going to also discuss a few other topics that are often raised with gout victims, and that will be round 5, the concluding round of how to rout gout.
Yes.